Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk with Ada podcast. I'm your host, Daisy, and today we are peeling back the layers of two of the most powerful words in the English language. I do. Usually, when we hear I do, our minds immediately race to the altar, to white dresses, to xedos, and the promise of till that, do them part. And yes, we will definitely talk about marriage. But I want to challenge you today to look at these words through a broader lens. How many times have you said I do to a job you hated, a friendship that drained you, or a project you weren't ready for, simply because you didn't know how to pause, or just because you don't know how to say no? I do is not just a wedding vow, it is a signature on the contract of your life. It is the moment you stop being a passenger and start being the driver. So, before you commit, before you sign, and before you say I do, here is what you need to consider. Whether you are considering a marriage proposal, a new business venture, or a life altering move, the first place you must look is inward. Ask yourself, am I running towards something or am I running away from something? Many people say I do to avoid loneliness, to escape poverty, or to seek validation from others. If your commitment is born out of fear or a lack of self worth, the foundation is already cracked. Just know this and no peace. Then, you need to identify your why. If you cannot articulate the reason behind your I do in one clear sentence, ah, you aren't ready to commit. Your why must be stronger than the challenges that will inevitably follow. As believers, we are called to be wise as serpents and as gentle as doves. That's in Proverbs 3, verse 2. And it reminds us, it says, in all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Before saying I do to a partner, a career path, or a major life shift, have you brought it to the foot of the cross? You people will come and say, I've started again. But of course, you need to ask God that created you if you should go ahead. After all, David was the one. He asked God, Shall I pursue? And God told him to pursue, that he will definitely recover all. God is the owner of our lives. He created us. He has a template. So he knows what we should do and what we shouldn't. Yeah. So you ask God what you should do. If you should go ahead and do this, if you should go ahead and say yes. In Philippians 4, verse 7, it speaks of the peace that surpasses all understanding. If you feel a nagging sense of unrest or a check in your spirit, that is not the time to push forward. It is the time to pray. In the world, we are taught to look for what is convenient, what pays well, or what looks good on Instagram. But God looks at the heart. Before you commit to a person, look at their character, not their charisma. Before you commit to a job, look at its alignment with your purpose, not just the salary. Every I do comes with an invoice. You cannot have the harvest without the labor. In marriage, you are sacrificing your autonomy for a new union. In a business, you are sacrificing your security for potential growth. Are you ready to pay the price? We live in a highlight reel culture where we want the glory of the I do without the grit of the I will. Before you step into the new chapter, ask yourself if you are willing to endure the mundane days, the losses, and the hard work that happen after the initial excitement fades. When you don't stand for something, you will say I do to anything. So, for my listeners, both men and women, you must have non negotiables. What are the values you refuse to compromise on? If you haven't defined these things before the moment of decision, you will be swayed by the pressure of the moment. Write them down, know them, keep them close. Your I do should be the conclusion of a logical and spiritual evaluation, not just an emotional reaction. I do is the ultimate exercise of your free will. It is the moment you reclaim your power by choosing your path deliberately. So, don't be afraid to say not yet. Don't be afraid to say, oh, I need to pray about it. And certainly, don't be afraid to say no to something that does not align with the person God has called you to be, even if it's your pastor that is telling you to do that. or somebody you respect so much. Before you give your life, your time, or your heart to anything or anyone, make sure you have counted the cost, sought the counsel of the Spirit of God, and that you have stood firm in your own integrity. When you do that, when you finally look life in the eye and say, I do, it won't be a leap of faith, it will be a walk of purpose. Now, I want you to talk to me. What is one area of your life where you need to be more intentional before saying I do? Yes, let's chat in the comments. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to this episode of Talk with Ada podcast. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep choosing wisely.